Well, welcome to Debbie's Back Porch. So glad to have you with us tonight. Well, it's July 1st and the garden is coming in. We're harvesting, and today I harvested green beans, and so I'm going to cook some for you. And I'm going to cook them Southern style. What is Southern style, you say? Well, stick with me and I'll show you. So let's start with the green beans. These are pole beans, and yes, they have strings. I hear lots of folks say, I don't want strings. Well, they're really pretty easy, so I'm just going to show you. If you grab the little pointy end and pull it, and then you go to the other end and break it and pull it, then the strings come right off. And there may be one or two strings as you're breaking them, but they'll just pull right off. And I've always had beans that had strings, and so I don't think anything about when I'm snapping beans pulling the string off. It's just sort of second nature. And we grow rattlesnake beans, which make a lot of beans, and they have strings on them unless you pull them really too young or too young to suit me. So here they are. That's all there is to it. I'm going to wash these and set them aside and get everything ready. It's my belief you must have a cast iron Dutch oven to cook green beans Southern style. But truth is, you could cook them in stainless steel if you wanted to. I just prefer cast iron. I've had this particular Dutch oven for 50 years next month. I got it when I got married. And I'm putting some pieces of streakeline in here. You could put ham in. Green beans Southern style have meat in them. And I'm going to cook this until it's crispy. You can use bacon, you can use ham, you could even use sausage. So whatever meat you choose to use, you want to brown it a little bit first, and you want to render out the fat. This is the seasoning for your green beans. And browning the meat brings umami flavor, and I don't know how to explain that, but it's a savory flavor. So when the meat is brown and crackly, you're going to add the drained green beans, washed and drained, and I'm going to stir these around until the fat coats the beans. And I have my heat on medium-high, but we're not going to leave the beans in this for long. We're not frying the beans, just getting them coated well. Then I'm going to add an equal amount of water. I had this bowl full of green beans. I'm adding this bowl full of water, and I'm going to bring these up to a good rolling boil. And then I'll turn them down to a simmer. And I want you to take note of the foam on the top, just so that you know. That foam is not because the beans are dirty or anything like that. That's a reaction that legumes have when you heat them. You know, like when you're cooking dried beans and you get foam on top. But you just notice it more because these are green. If it bothers you, you can skim it off. So cover them down to a simmer. Set your timer for 3 hours. Yes, 3 hours, no less. And more is okay because they're covered. They're not going to cook dry. But no less than 3 hours. These have actually cooked for 4. And they're done. And that's Southern style. They're done. They're not crispy, but they are very flavorful, and that slow cook and the meat seasoning allows the flavor to develop. Now, salt and pepper to taste, and it's going to take a good bit of salt. This was a lot of beans. And stir it in. And now we're going to do the last step. Uncovered with the heat up high, we're going to cook them until they're almost dry. And this may take another hour or so. So you'll see I've cooked almost all of the juice out. This is green beans, Southern style. I'm going to plate this up and show you what we got. And here you have it. And if you've never tried beans cooked to this stage, you really must at least once. If you think you've got to have them crispy, I tell you, there is a flavor that develops from the meat and the slow cook that you can never get in a quick cook bean. And you know, this method evolved in the farm culture where you would put your dinner on, before you went to work in the field, and it would be ready for lunch. Thank you for joining us on Debbie's Back Porch. So glad to have you with us. And hey, if you like our video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. We really appreciate it.